Behind every silence, there is a story of survival waiting to be told. Stories hidden in plain sight. Truth buried beneath fear. This is the Maxwell Matewere podcast, unmasking the truth, revealing the crime, and giving a voice to the voiceless. Investigative discussions, insightful, thought-driven. The podcast that reinforces authority and human rights mission. Real stories, real investigations, real impact. Stay tuned.
Today we continue with this discussion on human trafficking, making reference to some of the content from this book called Human Trafficking Exposed. And it does exactly that, expose this horrific crime of human trafficking. And today I'm joined by Honourable Overstone Kondowe. Welcome, Honourable.
Welcome, thank you.
How are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm well, thank you.
Great.
These are real lives, real people, real lived-in experiences. This is the Maxwell Matewere podcast. I am your host, Hazel Shitulu. Honourable, I will not introduce you. I'll let you do that yourself because I don't think I'll do you justice if I introduce you. So please introduce yourself.
Well, I am Overstone Kondowe, and I'm the chair of the African Union for Persons with Albinism.
Yeah.
This is a continental body which is building the solidarity of all countries in the implementation of the African Union plan of action to end attacks on persons with albinism. Before that, I was serving as the president of the Association of Persons with Albinism in Malawi, APAM. And I also had the privilege to be the advisor of the former head of state on disability and albinism. Later on, I was elected as the first persons with albinism in sub-Saharan Africa to be a member of parliament until 2025 last year.
Mm-hmm. Honourable, you have clearly been involved in quite a lot of work to do with persons with albinism. And recently, there's been concern over the disturbing cases that have sort of signaled a renewed threat on the attacks on people living with albinism. What has happened?
It's really unfortunate. After a lot of effort, yes, a lot of investment was made from a number of players, government, civil society, the international organizations, to end these attacks, to realize that after some years of at least quietness, these also appeared again. However, this is also positive. It was like we're in a slumber.
Yes. We
thought we have dealt with this problem to the root.
We got comfortable.
Yes, but now this is positive to the point that we are seeing that we must put our house in order. If there were budgets meant to end these attacks, then let's increase. If there were efforts of awareness, let's put on a second or third gear. Yeah. So it's unfortunate on the other side, but as well, it's a call, a wake-up call to say we have not dealt with the problem to the root. We need not to sleep or to get into a slumber.
Right.
Really.
Honourable, in 2017, there was a report of the independent expert on the enjoyment of human rights by persons with albinism on her mission to Malawi, and it highlights superstition as the primary or principal cause of the attacks against persons with albinism. What specific myths do witch doctors or those that are in that trade propagate regarding the properties that the body parts of people with albinism might have?
That visit was really very positive because we had to put Malawi on the spotlight as a hotspot of these attacks. Yes. And we have superstitious beliefs within our communities. Yeah. There are some who claim that our body parts have possessed some magical properties that may make one rich if they are mixed together with some concoctions or traditional medicines. Some also believe that our body parts they also possess power to make someone get some wealth. They also have a belief that touching a person with albinism, you can get the cure of some chronic diseases like HIV/AIDS. And also believes that if you want to get into political positions, then there are also some beliefs connected to our body parts being part of the concoctions that which doctors also mix up in order to get the positions. So there are quite a number of beliefs which are connected to body parts of persons with albinism.
That's a shame. But is there any specific evidence that can prove, whether scientific, medical, that proves that this is actually true?
Unfortunately, these are scientifically baseless lies. Yeah. There is no any truth, because a person with albinism, the only difference is the levels of production of melanin. That's the only difference between a person with albinism and that one without albinism. But when it comes to blood, we are all equal. Yes. Body parts, we are all physiologically, we are just equal. There is nothing. So scientifically, this is a baseless lie, which is just seated in beliefs which are mystical and very dangerous.
Very dangerous indeed, because obviously the rise in attacks on persons with albinism actually stems from those lies. True. So indeed they're very dangerous. But apart from these horrific crimes that persons with albinism are subjected to, this report also draws attention to some of the other challenges. For example, there's a lot of discrimination, which means that persons with albinism cannot really live life to the fullest. They're discriminated against in their communities, and this can lead to poverty because, for example, they cannot do their trade openly but also comfortably for the fear of being attacked or being subjected to attacks. Their children may not even be able to attend school as other children in the community do, because they're afraid that they might be attacked, or even sometimes in worst case scenarios, they're actually killed. How well are communities educated on inclusion of persons with albinism?
You know, we are talking about of attacks, we are talking about beliefs. Yeah. All these are stemming from ignorance. Okay. So the only solution and medicine is knowledge.
Yes.
Now, we have a challenge in our country that we have these awareness, once-off awareness campaigns, which are directed to our communities, depending on the availability of funding and availability of support from our well-wishers. That's a major problem. I would love if we had included albinism in part of our curriculum, so that at least 90% of our population goes through primary education and secondary education. They would have come into contact with knowledge about persons with albinism. That could have been a surest way to remove ignorance, which results into discrimination, and at the same time exclusion from school, employment, yes, even from families. Families have broken down because of some kind of discrimination. Mm. After in a family you bear a child with albinism, there's ignorance, then that results into breakdown of families. Right. Some children with albinism, when they're in class, teachers are unaware that we experience low vision. And some will also be shy to be in front, just to be assisted to read from the chalkboard. So all those things, we need a kind of curriculum which includes all those kind of topics in order that our generation and the generation to come, we should not have that ignorance that it results into discrimination.
Right. So you made a very important point. Knowledge is power. And when we are educated on a certain topic, we are able to see things from a different perspective. You spoke about awareness campaigns, but has there really been enough work done for people to be able to say, listen, we know enough, and maybe communities are just choosing to act in this manner? Can we really blame ignorance? Do you think that there has been enough that has been taught on this topic and people just choose to ignore it?
I don't believe that we have done a good job in terms of bringing awareness. My thinking is that probably I would have taken the same approach that we used to combat discrimination because of HIV/AIDS, or the issues to do with gender, the issues to do with climate change. The way government and other actors played, they would have also played the same in terms of combating these ignorances relating to persons with albinism. So we have tried, but it's not enough. We're supposed to be deep into it and to take the same measures that we used in order to stop discriminating those who are living with HIV/AIDS, or even the issues to do with gender. The way we have done that, if we did it with these problems affecting us, I think we would have succeeded by now.
Right. Honourable, this report from 2017 also states that under the international human rights law, persons with albinism have a normative right for protection, covering their fundamental rights, which includes the right to life, which is a threat most of the times, physical integrity, liberty, and security. Is this law actually at play, or is it just theory?
We have the law on paper. And sometimes having a law without implementation is just as equal as not having it.
Yes.
So the law is there. We have got some provisions from the Convention of Rights of Persons with Disability. We have got some measures outlined in the Charter, African Charter for Human and People's Rights. And we also have several enormous resolutions, UN resolutions, which are there to protect the dignity, the life, and the security of persons with albinism. But the problem is implementation part. For a country like Malawi to implement, we need a lot of resources.
Yes.
So we can have a good law, but there are no resources for implementation.
Yes.
For example, to investigate these cases, the Malawi Police Service will require resources.
Yes.
For the witness to come to court, they also need resources. Some witnesses have failed to come to court because of fear of retaliation. So they also need protection. So it's a big challenge now that we can have good laws, well outlined, a lot of commitments, but we don't have resources for implementation. Yes. Another challenge is coordination. We have worked in isolation. We have the judiciary, the executive on the other side. So we have also seen that there's less coordination in terms of managing cases of persons with albinism in our country, Malawi. Not only Malawi, even in our neighboring countries. So there is need to harmonize our legal system. At the same time, there must be coordination. And the nature of these attacks have always been cross-border. There is also need for country and country coordination in order to deal with these problems to the root.
Right. Honourable, you've spoken about this being a global challenge. It's not just Malawi, but clearly Malawi has quite a number of cases, or more cases you would say, than maybe other regions. But on a global scope, how big really is this problem?
This problem is not a one country problem alone, as you have mentioned. In fact, this started in Tanzania.
Yes.
But later on, we had reports of cases in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Zambia, and Malawi. And Malawi, we have reached to the point that we have got 196 cases. And in 2026 alone, 7 cases have been reported. This challenge reflects a problem which is not a country problem, but it's a regional problem, it's a global problem.
Yes.
That's why the African Union was pushed to have an action plan. And the African Union also advocated that each and every member state should also have national action plan frameworks, and Malawi is one of them. I'm happy for that.
Yes.
Zambia too have also have one, South Africa too. So it reflects that this problem cannot be managed by one country alone. It's a transnational problem that requires interventions from all countries, not only a single country.
So it definitely calls for unity,
Yeah.
for all of the countries to work together.
Really.
We've spoken about the fact that this is a global problem. It's not just affecting Malawi. So what regions globally are most affected by the hunting and dismemberment of persons with albinism?
It's true that this problem is not a country problem. It's a regional problem. It's a continental problem, and it's a global problem. But many of these attacks have manifested in great numbers in sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay.
Mainly of late, Malawi is ranking high, and still more we have got cases in the eastern part of Zambia, Chipata side and the like. But we should mention that the whole Africa, we have reported a case. But the fresh ones, it appears like Malawi still is a hot spot, seconded by Zambia.
Right. Honourable, this is clearly a crime that includes more than one player. But what role do criminal networks, including traffickers or the witch doctors that we've spoken about earlier, play in the illicit trade, both internationally but also locally?
True, Hazel. This is a well-organized criminal activity that includes the buyers, the sellers, and the financiers.
Yes.
And you'll find that in all those networks, you'll find that a witch doctor is one in there as a blocker. Okay. And to uproot this problem is very difficult.
Yes.
And it also appears, apparently, that some are connected to those who are holding power.
Right.
And this makes it very difficult,
yes,
to get to the bottom of it. And because they are also attached to beliefs, and you know, beliefs are super organic.
Yes.
You can be a politician but having
yes,
a belief. Yes. You can be a doctor having a belief. You can be a pastor having a belief. So to dismantle this network,
yes,
is very, very difficult, because the network itself is well organized.
yes,
Because you can't have a body part if you don't know the market.
Yes.
It means there's already established market somewhere, but these are invisible markets. As a country, we have tried almost 4 or 5 studies to unmask these markets, but we have failed to manage, simply because they are well organized and they are well connected to those holding powers. That's why they are protected. They are not exposed.
Thank you, Honourable. In Chapter 8 of this book, Human Trafficking Exposed, it says human trafficking for organ removal happens when living human tissue or organs are extracted or removed without free, informed, and specific consent. The more reason why you need to purchase this book. We'll be back after this short break.
every silence, there is a story of survival waiting to be told. Stories hidden in plain sight. Truth buried beneath fear. This is the Maxwell Matewere podcast, unmasking the truth, revealing the crime, and giving a voice to the voiceless. Investigative discussions, insightful, thought-driven. The podcast that reinforces authority and human rights mission. Real stories, real investigations, real impact. Stay tuned.
Welcome back as we continue this conversation of human trafficking, and today we are talking specifically about a different form of trafficking, which is the trafficking of human organs. Honourable, carrying on with the conversation, are there any documented cases of children with albinism being targeted or sold by family members? Because sometimes family members could be part of this chain of organized crime.
Very true, and it's unfortunate that some of the players are close family members, yes. And we have cases. I can even mention some of these cases, but for the sake of program, but there are little cases where parents, stepfathers, or step-parents involved in this act of selling children, mostly children, and even biological parents.
Right.
I remember we had a case in Dedza where a biological parent had to sell a daughter in Madis. We had a case in Kasum where a stepfather had to step in and also connived with these guns and sell a daughter, a young child, really.
So what legal measures are governments, not just the Malawi government, but governments, because this is a global problem, what measures are being taken to implement protection of people with albinism from these brutal attacks?
I know there are measures which are the UN and the African Union and even the member countries are undertaking in order to end these attacks. One, you have also mentioned before about education. There are ongoing awareness campaigns, and I'm happy that the international community has come in. We had the investment from European Union,
yes.
In Zimbabwe, South Africa, through African Disability Alliance, here in Malawi through CBM, through civil societies. We have a number of programs where there is ongoing awareness campaigns. Apart from that, we have seen countries like Malawi, they have got specialized police units which deals with these cases. And we have also seen that countries, they have dedicated budgets like Malawi in the implementation of the National Action Plan for persons with albinism in order to end these atrocities. But this is not enough. We would love all countries in Africa could have budgets on persons with albinism. They could have budgets, policies as well. We also implementing the laws, because some countries have just come up with their national action plans, but they don't have the supporting laws to anchor the implementation of such ambitious policy architecture in their respective countries.
This is true. While you've spoken about education under the umbrella of awareness, which is happening right now, even in Malawi, but Honourable, you mentioned something very important, that a belief is something that is very difficult to address. And because this is propelled by myths and beliefs, this is what makes it difficult to actually address. So how can public education programs dispel this dangerous myth about the value of albinism body parts? Because if someone believes something, it really takes a lot to change their mind. So how can this education, this awareness, help to dispel those beliefs?
I think the starting point should be the genetic education.
Right.
People have to know exactly what happens for a family to have a child with albinism.
Right.
So that kind of education should not only target those who are in classrooms.
Yes.
We need to target traditional leaders, religious leaders as well, so that these are gatekeepers of traditions.
Yes.
And within tradition, they are also connected with beliefs. So the education itself should be tailored to target not only those who are in classrooms, but even those who are in churches or mosques, or those who are outsiders, our traditional leaders as well. In that way, we are able to remove ignorance from all angles, and at last, we'll find that our communities are safer homes for persons with albinism.
Right. So the report also mentioned that persons living with albinism have medical challenges, but what are some of those medical needs that individuals living with albinism face? And some of them that were highlighted were, for example, skin cancer. What are some of the other challenges in terms of medical care that persons with albinism face?
Excuse me, I'm afraid to say a person living with albinism. We don't live with albinism. We are born with it. Yes. So I prefer using a term like persons with albinism.
Yes.
It's true that apart from these attacks, we also have other challenges. And most of these challenges are because of our sensitivity to ultraviolet radiation. Our skin, because of lack of melanin or little melanin, we are not able to withstand defend our bodies against ultraviolet radiation, leading to skin cancer. And most of our healthy facilities don't have sunscreen lotion available, and it's very expensive. Malawi government imports from India. So you find out that there's a problem of skin cancer amongst persons with albinism. And most of us do not reach the age of 40. We die because of skin cancer. Right. And 80% of the death of persons with albinism are from skin cancer. So that's a major problem. Number two problem is low vision. Because of low vision, we are limited in terms of job opportunities. You can't be a driver. Some people will not believe that you can drive. But I do drive. I'm licensed. Mm-hmm. And there are so many who do that. But for the employers to say, this is your track, they will not have that kind of trust. So low vision is another problem. The same also hinders on education. Right. Once you go into a classroom, you need to have reading classes. And reading classes, there are more than 100,000 kwacha in Malawi. So there are few who can afford that. They will depend on government to provide them, but they are not made available by government. So this is another challenge. Lastly is exclusion. We are excluded from most of the mainstream socio-economic activities. People do not trust us for employment. People will not trust us for marriage. People will not trust us for business and what have you because of beliefs. This is a major problem. To be excluded is like you have killed somebody. Yes. So these are other problems apart from the attacks that we do experience on our daily living.
Honourable, we've spoken about awareness, we've spoken about superstition, but to crown all of these things, apart from the work that is already being done right now to curb this problem that affects persons with albinism, what more do you think we can do on a global level, but also individually? Because this is a problem that affects all of us, whether directly or indirectly, but everybody is affected in one way or the other, from communities to country level to global level. What else do you think we can do?
I do think that we have done quite a lot on the research of our problems, and we have a lot of information at hand. What is failing us is implementation.
Right.
If we implement whatsoever strategies were outlined in the regional action plan, in the African Union plan, in our own national action plans, I'm sure that this problem can disappear. We have dealt with HIV/AIDS. We have dealt with COVID. We don't really say that this is a problem which can not be dealt. No, it's just a matter of political will to implement whatsoever strategies have been researched and have been advised. So if we can take an angle of seriousness in implementation of our own laws, our own strategies, I'm sure this can be a history from our global affairs, or even from our country, or the regional, from our continent.
Honourable, we are coming to the close of this conversation. Is there anything else that you wish to share?
Yes, I would like to thank many governments in Africa who have shown commitment and solidarity to end these problems. And we should also thank the donor community for the support that they have rendered in order to manage this problem. And it is a call that I'm making to countries in Africa, Malawi included, that let us remove our political lens. Right. Let us look at this problem as objectively. Once we take that direction, we are able to address this problem without pointing fingers at X or Y. I should also encourage persons with albinism themselves. They need to be very proactive, and at the same time they need to have self-confidence. They should believe in themselves that they are human beings. They are not less humans. They can do whatsoever, depending on their choices. And we have a future, a very bright future, because we have so many who are interested to support persons with albinism, be it government, civil society, and let's be positive and let us be focused. Don't underestimate ourselves. We are just equal to any. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable, for being part of this very important conversation, and thank you very much for your time. Chapter 8 of this book speaks about cases of such as what my guest today has shared, trafficking of human organs. It goes beyond just a missing person. The person may be found but dismembered. That is also a form of trafficking. And as this conversation continues, I encourage you to read the book. Be part of this. We're all involved in one way or the other, and we can all make a difference. This is the Maxwell Matewere podcast. Thank you.
In a world of chaos, where everything's insane, there's a glimmer of hope that still remains. Through the eyes of a child, we can find our way to a brighter future, a brand new day. With the red cord outreach, we're reaching out, bringing love and support, there's no doubt. Empowerment, resources, and a helping hand. Together we can make a stand. See the world through innocent eyes, where dreams can soar and hope never dies. Let's join together, make a change for the children's future. Let's rearrange Ria's future. Let's rearrange.